Well, the owners call it a plant dive in the middle of the city, but many people would probably consider it a plant oasis. See how Plant KC is aiming to take on houseplants in a whole new way.
What were you guys trying to bring back to the Metro when you opened up?
Well, when we opened the shop here just about a month ago, we wanted to bring that lush, beautiful environment that you can find on the West Coast where we used to live, or even here in the city, but it's hard to find in the heart of the city. A place where you can grow and learn about plants and feel like it's a comfortable environment, even though you're not necessarily surrounded by that farmland we're all familiar with.
We're, just like steps off from Midtown and Westport area, and we are rocking this spider plant right now.
Yes, the spider plant is one of our most popular plants. She's actually been one of the most popular house plants since the Victorian era.
Oh wow.
Yeah, spider plants are originally from South Africa. They come in a couple different varieties. Like this one here has a lighter color on the middle of the stem there, whereas the smaller one has the variegation on the edges.
Wow.
They're both generally the same to take care of as far as needs. They love bright but indirect sunlight. So if you have one of these bad boys on your porch, make sure it's got plenty of shade or it will get a little singed by that bright sunlight. But I love having them potted to live inside. They're such a good generational present, sort of, because they have spider plants are known for these, they're called spiderlets, or we just call them the babies.
Cute.
And they grow naturally off of here. And you can see these ones have some nice roots coming through. So they're great because you can just clip this off and give it to your friend or your family member. It's a great, inexpensive gift. And because it is so low maintenance, it's great for everybody to share.
Okay, and I heard low maintenance, which is exactly what I would need. So can you give us some care tips?
Absolutely. So like most other houseplants, this spider plant is going to want bright, indirect sunlight. Like I said, the true sun will just burn it up, unfortunately. But if you keep them near a window or on a porch with shade, or even on the center of a nice table in a nice sunny room, perfect for them. As far as watering goes, I just like to touch the soil on most of the plants, and just that will tell you when you need to water it rather than having it on a calendar. This one is a little dry. So we just use rainwater here that we harvest outside of the store. And I know not everybody has time for that. So if you don't have any natural rainwater laying around the house, you can always use distilled water or filtered.
And what are you looking for when you touch the soil to know, hey, it's time to water it?
Absolutely. So you can see it's dry here on the top, but if you just dig around a little bit, it should be moist down to about 1 inch on your finger. So this one's dry, so we're just gonna give it a little squirt around the roots, not directly on it, because that'll tend to give it root rot.
Well, and one thing we noticed at Plant KC, there are some plastic dinosaurs floating around, and that's sort of their calling card. In just a few minutes, we'll show you how to propagate a whole new plant just from a bud.
But actually,
a lot of biology.
It's the process of growing new plants from seeds or a part of the plant.
Well, and Plant KC is actually going to show us there is more than one way to do it.
So right now we're looking at the mother of thousands, a very popular succulent, and Jessica is going to tell us exactly how this propagates so well.
All right, so the mother of thousands is super great for propagation. So as you can see, she grows her pups out of her leaves.
These are so cute
Yeah,
too.
so every single one of these leaves here, even the new ones, they'll have these little ridges where eventually these tiny little babies will grow on the side. And as soon as they have roots, like the ones here, or on this leaf are really good as well, you can just pinch them off and drop them into the soil and they grow. This plant is originally from Madagascar.
Okay.
And it's an invasive species because of how well it grows. So to do that, you'll just find one with some nice roots ready to go. Just give it a little pinch. And it's okay if you damage it a little bit because it's going to go straight down into the soil where those roots will just continue to grow.
You also have these nice little tweezers.
Yeah,
so
if you want to give it a go.
Get the same effect. Is this a good one to pick? Because you see the roots right there already.
Absolutely.
Okay, so pinch this off. Well, look, one just
perfect.
But see, you can see the roots there, and you kind of feel like you're doing this awesome science project.
Right, exactly. This dish is actually one of our science projects. Not just the mother of millions, but most succulents are super easy to propagate like this. So if you have any at home and a leaf falls off, don't worry about it, it's fine. Just throw it in the pot of soil and chances are it'll take off.
You also have these ones looking even more like a science project here.
So this is a great way, another way to propagate if you have larger pieces that fall or need to be pruned. This is a leaf from our Sansevieria, which is a snake plant.
Wow.
Which we have plenty of those laying around here. But unfortunately, when we got this one, the leaf was a little loose. So we just cut it off and you just dip it straight into the water. And again, this is that rainwater.
Okay.
And eventually, like you can see on this bamboo, it'll start its own root system.
Wow.
And once that starts, you can just put it in soil and you'll have your own plant going.
Why would somebody, want to do this and propagate their plants?
I think it's a really nice way to watch something grow in a little more interesting manner than when you get an adult plant. You can see it growing when you have to repot it, but it's a totally different experience to take something this tiny as its own little pup and watch it grow into its own plant.
Well, another tip, Bill, do not let the cutting dry out. A plant mister or a spray bottle will really help keep everything moist. In the next half an hour, we're actually going to show you how to repot a brand new plant.
Yeah, and one thing she was showing in there is using rainwater. We used to have a rain barrel that we caught rainwater with at our old house. We used it in a lot of our front beds out front, and it's remarkable how much the plants will respond to that rainwater versus, water that you get out of your spigot with everything that the city puts in, right?
She said that it had a lot to do with the minerals, but look at you with the, spigot and doing all that, just doing the most.
I tell you what, we're keeping it real. All right, next,
About a plant or a succulent, but you're not going to leave it in this plastic container forever. So Jessica's going to show us what to do.
Excellent. So this purchase you made today, this is called a desert rose. It's a type of a succulent that's, as you can see, sort of takes the characteristics of a tree. This one is from Eastern Africa and the Southern Arabian Peninsula. And he grows like a succulent, but is used in bonsai arrangements. So when you're repotting a succulent, you want to make sure you keep this nice, porous, gritty soil, because like all succulents, it doesn't love a lot of water. So we're just going to gently squeeze them out of this plastic container.
And this is probably important to do that gently so you're not doing damage to the roots.
Yeah, because you have this beautiful shallow root system. And you just want to brush off this extra dry soil so you can really free up those roots.
So you're literally cleaning the roots right now.
Yeah, because we want him to be able to grow and stretch in his new container. So we're going to just moisten that soil a little bit before we pot with it.
And again, you recommend using the rainwater.
Yeah, if you can. And this is a mix we make here. It's a succulent soil that we mix with sand to get extra grit so it drains really well. And just put a little in the bottom, set them right in there, and then gently cover those roots all the way around.
And how far should the dirt go up, right?
So
because that's something we got to cover the roots,
exactly.
but you don't know how much to put in sometimes.
On this plant in particular, because of this bulb that makes it so popular, we want to be able to see that all the time. And you can see we kind of have a grow line already. So you want to stay around that line. If you want to showcase the bulb, you'll do it a little bit lower. Just gently pat it down.
What's the nickname you use for it here too?
Oh, here in the store, we call this one the Bulbasaur. As a succulent, it's going to want really bright light, but with these leaves, they're a little more delicate, so indirect, in a corner in the shade. We love having him in pots because he is from such a hot environment. You can bring him inside when it gets colder, keep him under a little lamp, but he's perfect for just he makes a great window plate.
And I feel like it would, since it's used in bonsai arrangements a lot, it gives it a nice texture as well.
Oh, for sure. Texture and shape are the reasons to buy plants, our house plants right now. It's what makes a bestseller. So this is definitely one of them. It has this really unique shape, and all these trunks will look different. And its leaves have this really beautiful thickness and shine to them.
Again, that's Plant Casey, and it is just outside of Westport. They also have big plans to bring in a greenhouse and make it a gathering spot. We're back after this.